Today I'm going to watch Gamera versus Baragon, another movie kasi kahapon Ultra K yung pinanood ko. So, yeah. Movie today. Gamera versus Baragon 1966. So apparently, English dub yung download ko na version ng movie. So I am currently downloading the Japanese original version as English subs. Medyo mabilis yung download, so hihintayin ko lang siya bago panoorin ulit. Kasi ewan ko, pagka masanay ka kasi na Japanese language yung narinig mo, mas gugustuhin mong yung original yung talagang tapos pagka nanood ka na ng English dub, hindi na maganda para sa'yo. Pero feel ko pagka yung baguhan ka sa mga gantong movies or foreign movies, siguro mas gugustuhin mo yung English dub kasi mas madali siyang panoorin. I mean, mas madali talaga siya panoorin, kaso mas ewan ko, tsaka nire-re-edit nila yung movie. I mean, alam mo naman yung mga mga Americans, they do stuff with the movies. They change the story depending on what they want it to be. So, marami silang yung mga voice over, yung mga narration. Yung mga original na movies, mga Japanese movies na original. Ulit-ulit wala silang ganun, hindi sila narrate, well, dialogue lang tapos silent yung mga scenes. So yun, hinihintay ko lang siya matapos bago ko so yun, sana mas maganda siya yung movie na to kaysa yung last na kasi sobrang hindi ko nagustuhan yung yung Gamera the Giant Monster, yung pinakaunang movie niya kasi sobrang out of parang lahat ginawa nila pero parang naging naging halo-halo na ng wala siyang sense, walang parang naisip lang nila, oh okay, let's give this giant turtle the ability to fly by using flames even though he's an aquatic creature by nature, or I don't know, basta hindi siya yan, malapit na tapos. I'm just stretching this out. Hindi naman ako magla-live reaction dito. So I'm just gonna give my initial reaction or my review of it by the end of watching it. Pag natapos, okay, let's go. So I was wrong, meron pala talagang narration to, pero mas maganda siya pakinggan. Meron siya narration dun sa umpisa kasi dun sa dub may narration ng American na or English na voice or accent. American accent pala, pero English, you get the point. Pero yun, hindi pala nila, ewan ko, mas prefer ko yung Japanese dub or English subtitles talaga. So if you just prepare for a lot of rants or a lot of argumentative discussions here. It's not really a discussion kasi isang tao lang naman ako dito, and you could comment down below if you disagree with me, pero I have a lot of things that I could pinpoint or nitpick with this movie that are negative when it comes to reaction. So I'm gonna give you first what I thought was good about the movie. The costumes definitely were good. Maganda yung costume design, maganda yung yung design ng mga suits, mga suitmation, kasi suitmation yung usually na ginagamit ng mga dito, mga Japanese na movie makers or whatever. Parang yun na yung style na na tatak sa nila. So, yun, it's very different. Kaya mo siyang ma-differentiate from the Godzilla movies. Mas maganda yung yung buong tawag dito. Parang mas maraming details, maraming scales, maraming basta the design when it comes to the kaijus are very much something that is good with this movie. And then everything else everything else about the movie falls into the negative zone, or the negative whatever. So first off, plot holes. There are a lot of plot holes here, and there are a lot of illogical things here, and there are a lot of decisions that have been made in this movie that you just have to question, why did they do this? Bakit ganun yung ginawa nila? Bakit? Yeah. So first thing that I want to say about the negative stuff, or that I want to point out, is the story itself, the story of the movie itself. So the plot here is that Gamera somehow escaped, or in the first movie, 'di ba? Pinalipad siya into space with this rocket, nandun siya sa loob ng rocket, tapos pinalipad yung rocket sa space, tapos natamaan ng meteorite yung ni Gamera, tapos bumalik lang siya sa sa Earth. Parang wala lang. He could have done that. I mean, think for a moment. If the ship successfully landed on Mars, would Gamera not be able to go back to Earth that quickly? Kasi I think the filmmakers forgot, or the writers forgot, that Gamera could fly. I mean, he could easily escape Mars and go back to Earth. Mars is literally a neighbor planet of Earth. Doesn't take that long. I mean, it takes months, or but Gamera is a kaiju in space that he could fly. I mean, is the gravity on Mars not I mean, yun. Gamera could easily go back regardless of the meteorite. So I didn't you have to question, why did they decide to even put that in the story? Kung gagawin nila yung Z-plan na yun sa first na movie, bakit sa second movie iti-take back kagad nila, tapos papatamaan nila ng na meteorite, tapos makabalik lang si Gamera dun sa Earth? So pointless yung ending ng yung conclusion ng first movie. Second thing, Gamera doesn't do anything in this movie. Gamera doesn't he does the same thing that he does in the first movie. He does it here in the second movie. He does it he inhales fire, he consumes fire anywhere in the world, and that's about it when it comes to Gamera. He's only there once Baragon arrives. Baragon, by the way, is the monster or the kaiju antagonist for this for this story. Pero if you look at the movie as a whole, you'll notice that Baragon has a lot more scenes than Gamera. Almost all of the movie is based on Gamera or Baragon. So, more on that later. I'm gonna touch on that later kasi sobrang critical nung point na yun. Anyway, Gamera, going back to Gamera, he sort of mawawala siya hindi ko ma-English eh. Parang he will arrive at the beginning of the movie, but then he will be gone in the middle of the movie in order for the story to take center stage for Baragon's origin, or how Baragon is discovered in this cave with this opal. This opal is supposed, they thought it was a gem, but in fact it was an egg disguised as a gem or as an opal, and then parang na-radiate yung opal na yon. Tapos here comes a radiated version of Baragon, or whatever he was. So yun, it makes sense at least na magkakaroon ng powers or ng strange abilities si Baragon, but the abilities itself does not make sense for this type of creature or whatever it is based off of. So let me ask you first, if Baragon was not radiated in any sort of way and just grew out of his shell for 10 years, kasi sabi dun sa movie na it takes 10 years in order for Baragon to come out of its shell. So what happens once Baragon comes out of his shell if he is not radiated with this beam of light na basta it's a strange beam of light dun sa movie. Parang lang siya, MacGuffin or something, para lang ma-explain kung bakit nagkaroon ng ability si Baragon. Anyway, yun, you have to question bakit similar pa rin yung legends about Baragon, kasi may lady na or there's this tribe, parang worshippers, let's say, or parang natives na parang Mothra rip-offs lang sila, and they parang not necessarily worship Baragon, but yeah, they are natives who are parang sinasamba nila si Baragon. So why is the legend the same if we are going to deal with a different kind of monster? The legends do not make sense at this point, or should not make sense, if something happened to this monster in particular, as it is being born out of its shell. You're going to have to deal with a different kind of monster. You're going to have to deal with a different kind of strategy. Yun, parang they did not think this through at all talaga. And what's up with the ice? What's up with the ice breath, or is it only done in order for Gamera to be frozen and be absent from the movie? Why have Gamera at all if you're only going to focus on Baragon for like 80% or 90% of the movie? Like Baragon or Gamera isn't even there the whole time. It's like my reaction to how when I first read Dracula. The title of the book is Dracula, but Dracula is not there for more than 10 to 15 minutes or 10 to 15% of the book. As in sobrang andaming exposition from other characters, from other locations or other characters. There are a lot more scenes with them just discussing about Dracula, but never really seeing Dracula himself. We are How are we gonna be afraid of this fearsome character if we don't even see him in the book? Or yeah, you get what I mean. How is this a Gamera movie if Gamera is only there for like roughly 10 minutes as a whole within the whole movie? Why are you gonna title the movie Gamera versus Baragon if Baragon could have been at the center stage and not have another kaiju in the movie? Like, I get na advertising or like the marketing for this is gonna be easier if they use Gamera's title or use Gamera's name within this movie. Pero why would they kasi iba yung title nito eh. Yung iba alternative title nito is War of the Monsters. I mean, do I have to explain? I mean, I don't need to explain that. So yun, this could have easily been a Baragon movie, a Baragon standalone movie, like what they did with Mothra and then Rodan, and then yeah, that's basically it. Kasi si Godzilla, I'm gonna talk about Godzilla for a while, for a second here. Godzilla, he has a standalone movie. Then you build up his enemies by doing standalone movies, and I think Gamera the franchise did not do that. So parang siniksik nila yung itong element, tapos trinay nilang gumawa ng new element, pero alam nilang hindi bibenta yung new element na to kung walang familiar na element placed coincide with this new element. So here's this new Baragon kaiju, here's Gamera, and yun, blah blah blah. So, powers. When it comes to powers or the abilities of Gamera and Baragon, it just does not make sense. Why would Baragon, how does Baragon emit rainbow rays without rain? I mean, you need rain in order to make rainbows. I mean, that's nature, that's natural, that's how nature works. So, and Baragon is allergic to rain or to water since he is a land creature. Yun, parang hindi siya gumagalaw pagka naulanan siya. And it does not make sense if his abilities is to have an ice breath. I mean, they clearly only made him have ice powers or the ice breath in order to freeze Gamera, and that's the only thing that was used for. Anyway, yun, parang naisip nila Gamera has a fire breath or uses fire or consumes fire, so we're gonna face him off with a kaiju that has ice breath powers and nothing else. And also, his main weakness is water. I mean, when it rains, he doesn't move. and his body turns to purple. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. So here's how I think this could be better when it comes to how the story is. This is how they could have done this. They could have made Gamera in the first movie. They could have just made Gamera an ice breathing instead of fire breathing na or water. Parang gawin nilang Blastoise si Gamera para may sense kasi it's a water creature. I mean, sure, there are different kinds of turtles, pero I mean, come on. Turtle, water. It just makes sense. So, yun. They could have used just water for Gamera. So that's the first thing that I want to be changed here. Second, when it comes to Gamera and Baragon should have the fire abilities. It would make sense even more. Kung gagawin nila yung weakness niya ay rain, that would make sense for a fire wielding monster, for a fire wielding kaiju. So yun, you have this monster, Gamera, who is basically your protagonist, who uses water. He uses hydro pumps or water guns or blah blah blah, Pokemon shit. Ganun. And then you have this fire elemental monster, which probably emits like lava, para mas malakas siya kay Gamera, uses lava instead of just fire, and then absorbs fire in order to to emit lava. I mean, that makes sense, right? That makes sense. So yun, mas magme-make sense nga yung weakness niya yung water. Tapos yung legend na sinasabi ng mga natives na they pray for rain para hindi dumating yung kaiju na si Baragon. I mean, I don't know. The world building is basically not there. I mean, they did not think it through at all. So, yun. What happened here? What else? What else can I nitpick here? What else? Yun, parang wala na yata. I think this deserves a 6, a solid 6 out of 10 kasi sobrang dami kong nasabi na they could have literally done better. They could have, I mean, umpisa pa lang sobrang Gamera is very much all over the place already kasi yeah. So yun na lang yung sasabihin ko siguro. 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the bell to get notified, and I'll see you in the next one. Yun. Next episode is just an episode. I'm just gonna watch an episode. And then, ano tawag dito? And then, blah blah blah. Bato. Na mental block ako. Tapos yun, yung susunod na Gamera movie, papanoorin ko sa 2 days from now. Yeah, whatever.